It's been a few days, I know. Um, it's been an experience since all my stuff got stolen. Um, it's like every time I turn around, I seem to be getting blessed, or God's putting someone in my path to help me out. Um, my first night sleeping in town. Um, I didn't have a blanket, and this lady came riding up on her bike, and she was like, "Well, if you give this to me back in the morning, then I'll let you borrow it." So I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And I guess she had been riding her bike around all night. I'm not gonna speculate or say anything about the possibility of things being in her system. She didn't really come across that way. I'm thinking that she just had energy to blow off, but I don't get paid to think. So, um, anyway, um, so she came back. It was probably about 1:20ish in the morning, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to find some food." And I was like, "Well, do you like beef ravioli?" And she was like, "I'll eat it." So I got out a can of beef ravioli, and she was more worried about that taken away from me. And I told her, I said, "You let me borrow your blanket. The least I can do is feed you." Um, and then another night, there was a guy sleeping in the same area because at this church, as long as the parking lot's empty, we can go ahead and go under the awning and go to sleep. And we have to be gone by 7 o'clock in the morning, which I try to be gone before 6 because I try to catch the bus and ride the bus all the way across town to Walmart, which takes about 25-30 minutes to get there just to go to the bathroom. It's so stupid. Especially whenever I had a spot that bathroom was right there in the morning. But I'm actually at my old spot, not right now, but I will be later on, I think. Um, and because the buses don't run tomorrow, and the library is having a sale on their books, and they've had the sale. It started yesterday, but it was more for people who have this book friendship membership type thing. I don't know anything about it. And then today I wanted to go see how many books they had left because I'm going tomorrow, which is Sunday, October 15th, to get me some books because it's fill a bag of books for $5, and I have exactly $5. I was $1.70 shy of having $10, but Salvation Army, they sell their books hardback and paperback for 50 cents each. So I went and picked up 6 books, and I had exactly $3.33 or $3.30, and that's what it was with tax. So um anyways, I got off subject. Another night, because a lot of these homeless people, I call them degenerates and things like that, but there are some that do have caring hearts. Like this one guy, he was riding by the church, and he had like this pull along thing for like pets or whatever behind his bike full of just random stuff, like random stuff. And this guy that was sleeping a few feet away from me, he was like, "Oh, he looks cold." So he went and he grabbed out this really big, thick blanket and covered the guy up with it, and then gave him the sack that the blanket came in. I was like, that is super sweet. I wish I had my sleeping bag, but I've been having certain issues, so I have been staying more with my friends, but I have to quit doing that as much, especially on the weekends, because I need to figure out what I'm going to do on the weekends, where I'm going to go, because Saturday and Sunday, besides the library opens up Saturday at 10, Sunday at 12, closes at 5, and after that, I mean, I've got like 3 hours before I can go back to the church, and all that time from 7 until 12, that's 5 hours that I have nowhere to go, nothing to do, and nowhere to eat, nowhere to get warm. It's a lot more difficult for homeless people, especially whenever it's cold out and you just want to get inside and warm up your bones. And today I decided that I was going to go to one of the churches here in town that gives out brown bag lunches for the homeless on Saturdays. And I wasn't going there because to me Saturday is the Sabbath and you're not supposed to do any unnecessary work on the Sabbath. So I felt like I would feel guilty if I went and got a lunch sack from them. But because I haven't been doing very well with my food hoarding through the week, and knowing that I was going to be out and about this weekend, especially tomorrow, I decided that I'd go ahead and go. And they were having service, and I didn't know that this church did Sabbath service. So I was really stoked about that. And the message that he gave was like spot on for what I needed to hear. And whenever they do like the meet and greet, whatever, where people go around and shake your hand, "Hi, how you doing? Da 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 da. Welcome to our church." Blah blah blah. Only one guy came up to me and introduced himself and shook my hand, which really didn't bother me because I don't want to be acknowledged anyway. Sorry, had a pop up. And so he was super sweet. He could have been like an uncle or like the cusp of being a grandfather to me. And after the service, I was going because you have to sign up for your sack lunches. And I was going out to go get mine. And he stopped me before I got out. And he was like, we were just talking. And he goes, "So you're not homeless, are you?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he was curious, so I told him. I was like, "This is my situation, this is what happened, caused me to be homeless, and until Salina Housing Authority gets back with me saying that I'm approved to be on Section 8, then, or disability hurrying up and saying you're approved, here's some money," then I said, "I really don't have anywhere to go." And he asked me where I was sleeping tonight, and I told him, why, because I want to go to this book sale. I'm collecting books because I don't watch TV anymore. Like, if I go to the resource center, the TV will be on and it's news, and I really don't care about the news because it's depressing and it feeds into my mental illnesses. So I try to ignore it whenever it's on. And whenever I'm over there, they only have one TV, so they'll move it from the living room to their bedroom depending on if they're going to bed or if it's in the morning or whatever. It depends on where the TV's at. So sometimes I'll watch it there, but I haven't been watching it on my phone because it eats up my data. So I've just been reading in this last book, 16 Brides. Oh, like, no meat in that book at all. It's like no sustenance. I don't understand. It's just, oh, it wasn't entertaining. And usually I can get through a book because I'm not a really fast reader, and I'm just now getting back into reading. So it's like, okay, I'm bored, I'll read. It just, but it took me, well, tomorrow the book was due, and I think you can check out the books for like 3 weeks or something like that. So I was like really super stoked that I was able to get it read and turned back in before the last bus left the bus stop. But and so whenever I was at this church, I was explaining to this gentleman, what happened with my former employer and everything. And he looked at me and he said, "So if I give you $20, would that help you out?" I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "It would help out a lot more than you know." And so he had $20 in his tithing envelope, and he tore open his tithing envelope and took it out and gave it to me. And I was just very, very appreciative. And now all I have to do is get me $15 more, and I will have a bus pass for next month, which I'm really excited about, because at least then I can get on the bus and warm up and ride around, and then transfer to another bus and ride around until I get bored of that, and then go to the library or whatever. I am getting tired of not having shelter, though, like permanent shelter with 4 walls around me. And I am thinking about going to one of the bigger cities around us and calling and seeing what shelters have beds available. The only thing is, I don't have a way to get there, and then I would have to transfer everything, like my therapist, my psychiatrist, everything would have to be switched there, because I wouldn't have the money to be able to come back and forth. I just really don't know what to do. I really feel like I don't matter. And to me, I know I don't matter. But to be told your whole life that there's something, you're special, God has a reason for you to be here, and blah, 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 and then from birth all the way until your 47th birthday, it just downward spiral and gets worse and worse and worse. I think if this had happened, like, at the middle to the end of spring, up until now, it would probably be something different, because I would have gotten into a routine, especially on the weekends during the warmer days and months. And I had gotten an email from Give Send Go last month, asking me to put an update on my fundraiser so that they have this group of people called Giver Army, and they'll go from fundraiser to fundraiser and, you know, donate so much money. And whenever I first set it up, they did donate $200, which paid for my phone and got me some supplies that I knew I'd need. And so at the end of last month, they said that they were going to highlight my fundraiser and that they needed an update. So I put a 4th update on there. And I'm hoping that something happens soon, because even if it's like, I think for like $200 I can stay a week in a hotel. I think that's how much it was. But then again, that $200 I could put on my phone for the whole entire year and not have to worry about having a phone bill. With that $200, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to keep my phone on. That's one thing that I like about Mint Mobile, is that you pay 3, 6, 9 months, and you wouldn't think that paying in advance like that would, you know, make a difference, but it really does. And a year pass on the bus is $360.